All right, awesome. So we are gonna get rolling on the stats. This is every month we do information on stats. We talk about how the market's doing. We combine the stats to kind of give you an idea of Bingham County and Bonneville County and Jefferson County. Of course, we have the individual stats as well. And we have Madison County, we have Fremont County. And so if any of our clients need information specifically to their county, we can get them whatever they need. But this is kind of an overview. And we're wanting to look at how this year's going so far. We've got 5 full months into the year already, which is just craziness. And we're almost, halfway done with the year. So we're going to talk about how things are going year to date. And we're going to talk about how things are comparing May 2020 to May 2019. So just the stats, Jack. We need a Jack on our team. So how are we doing so far? So far in June, we've already helped 23 clients buy or sell their home. And it's been a very busy June. We all feel it, right? So luckily in our market, we're not seeing, some people in other markets around the country, their businesses are struggling. Real estate is struggling. And we have not seen that in Southeast Idaho yet. We're thankful for that. And people are feeling confident and they're buying homes. And, many times people don't have a choice. They just have to sell. And so people are doing that. And we have 37 people still scheduled to be able to close in June. And right now it's a record for us. We hit 100 pending sales last week, the first time we'd ever been over 100. And then we went to 108, and now today we're at 117 pending. So good job, everybody. So everybody's working hard, way hard. Maybe harder than we want to sometimes, but it's great. We're helping a lot of people. All right, how are we doing? Clients, let's go look at May. We have a full month of May. We were able to help 44 people in the month of May. And in June, we're looking at 68 is where we're tracking. We're almost to 68, so we still have a little bit time. Is our goal for 2020 to be on pace with how many people we want to be able to help, which is 750 for the year.
Woo! So if we hit 68 by this May, we are on track to help 750 people.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So good.
I think most people did the fake clapping on Zoom. Just kind of the click, 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 click. So it's nice. Human energy clapping is actually good.
We needed a clap track for that.
Yeah.
And a laugh track.
Yeah. Okay, so May market overview. So homes sold, and we're going to compare 287 homes sold in 2019. Okay. In 2020 in May, we only had 208 homes sell. All right. So we're actually had a decrease of about 28% of homes in those 3 counties.
Is that because inventory is low?
Inventory is low, and we don't know. 1 month doesn't scare us ever. It's a trend, right? 1 month not scare or excite us. It's not good or bad. It just depends on how things look over time. If we see a decrease in homes for June as well in the area, then we just know inventory levels are too low.
Or it might even be that's the big COVID month.
Yep.
We may have just seen a difference with COVID.
Yeah.
Many people staying home.
Because if it's homes sold in May, that means these buyers would have been going under contract in April and March. Correct. And that's
Correct.
when the whole coronavirus COVID thing was going on.
Yeah. But what's interesting though is it didn't seem like we saw a huge slowdown even in April or in March and April, So I don't know. It's interesting to see. We'll find out. We'll
next
see
month,
June,
right?
Yeah,
next month will help us know.
If June's up 30%, then it means nothing. If June's down 30%, we're going to see prices, go up, and inventories, it's not loosening up at all. So to kind of give you an idea year to date of where things are, we had through May 981 homes sold through May of 2019, and we're at 930 for 2020. So we're seeing about a 5% decrease of homes this year over last. Again, just shows that there's an inventory issue. We're seeing things that aren't moving, there aren't as many homes to move, or people aren't pulling the trigger on as many. So we're seeing a little bit of a decrease. It's not
Hey, Chad, will
huge.
you go back one? How much lower in numbers was May?
I was thinking the exact same thing because I
That's a
feel like
pretty-
it's pretty close.
Pretty close. That may be a May
If we go
issue
back
right there.
one more slide, right there.
Yeah.
Yep, right
I
there.
mean, look how
almost
big
80
that
homes.
drop was. That almost is the whole
Yeah.
5% difference for the year.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point.
And what are you guys seeing as far as buyer activity?
So on the buyer's side, there was through March, April, a few buyers did say, especially those ones moving here from out of state, California, that they just had to put things on hold. So those California buyers and people who were planning to buy in April and May ended up not purchasing anything because they put their plans on hold. But guess what? Now they're reaching out to me. Come July 4th weekend, they're planning on coming to town for vacation and want to look at houses. And so
Yeah.
that's really where we're at right now. So I think we might have an uptick because buyers who didn't buy are now going to be back. But like you said, it's month by month, and so we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
I rem-
So does it feel like there's more buyers on the market than there are houses available?
Yes,
Yes.
110%, man.
So
More
we'll-
like maybe
we'll-
180%, maybe.
Yes.
We'll get into the stats that reflect that, but that's exactly right.
Well, I remember some of you telling me in April-ish that there were people that were looking at moving here, and they were from Washington or California, and they were on, quarantine there. They were like, "We're bored. We're not doing anything. We're going to come to Idaho and check out stuff." And so we saw an influx of people coming here who probably wouldn't have, been able to make it here until later on in the summer. So, but that is an interesting thing. I'm glad you noticed that. So that's 79 homes that are different, and we are off here by 49. So that means some of the other ones were actually higher in leading up in January, February, March, and April than May.
You mean 51?
51, yeah.
What did
We're so good
I
at
got you,
that.
baby.
51?
I
Correct.
like how Brian leaned in the mic for that.
Yeah.
That would be 51.
But that's a
That's-
great point.
That's called quick math.
That's
It's
quick
fine.
math.
It's fine. We
But
did
Casey,
great.
you're exactly right. If there were 51 more homes for sale and available, do you think that there was buyers enough to absorb those
yeah.
houses?
100%.
So I think you're right. This is more of an inventory issue than there's just not enough homes to buy. The buyers
well, I
are
also
there,
think
but there
it has
just
to
isn't
do with
enough.
prices. I mean, increasing because prices are a lot higher than they were. A lot
Yes.
higher.
Nice
I
segue.
have buyers in certain price ranges where if there were literally just homes available, especially like under $135,000, if there was just a house available to purchase,
I would even say
I
under
could sell it.
150.
Right.
I mean,
But-
anything under 175 is gone the day it hits the market.
Yeah.
But I just don't,
So-
the inventory is not there, so my buyers just don't have a house to buy.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I just think about average sales price of $120,000 for so long in Idaho Falls.
Which is crazy.
Not anymore. All right, well, good segue into average price. So basically from May, the average sales price in Bingham, Bonneville, and Jefferson counties was $251,000, and we're up to $266,429. So we're seeing sales prices average up about 9% higher than they were last year in May. Again, this doesn't mean that we're seeing a 9% appreciation. Realize this is all price ranges from 0 to $1 million plus, and they average together. We are seeing appreciation in all homes 500,000-ish or under, but average sales price is up considerably. And again, that's what happens when supply is low, demand goes up. It's just simple supply and demand.
Well, also when rates are low, it creates more buying power, and so it increases people's price range, price max.
And that's another thing. Rates are crazy, and I don't think people. Do you think the majority of the people that are looking to buy understand the power of a low interest rate?
No,
No.
not at all.
I mean, it's like Black Friday sale every day right now.
Yeah.
We've got
mean-
we've
It's
got the most
COVID-19
updated
so-
rates today.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah. It is crazy.
Well, it's like getting a discount on your house thanks
Uh-huh,
to the government.
yeah,
They're
totally.
helping you out.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, to the
And
tunes
they-
of tens and tens of
And
thousands
they
of
will
dollars
go up.
in savings.
Like, mistake not.
Yeah.
They will.
Oh, yeah.
They will.
They will go up.
Well, the average interest rate over the last historically is like
6%.
6-7%.
Yeah.
That's average over time.
Imagine
And
if your
we're-
buyers right now rates went to 5%.
Oh gosh.
That's
I'd
yeah.
cut out half the buyers.
What would happen? And that would be a great rate historically.
Oh yeah. Yeah, historically, yeah. Okay, so year to date, how are we looking? So January to May, the average price was, from 2019, we saw it be 232. From 2020, it's 266.
Huge.
So cumulatively, it's definitely increasing as well. Okay, so yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So
And-
we're
and
seeing a
in some-
14.5% increase.
Yeah, overall. And
Overall.
some price points, like you guys are saying, there's 2 weeks of inventory is it. And so those price ranges are especially are seeing more pressure and the prices are being pushed up even faster. And then some of the upper end possibly, right? But overall, that is just a crazy number,
Yeah.
just the year to date.
Yeah, 2 weeks of inventory basically means there's nothing on the market for you. I mean, it's just,
And that's 2 weeks of
wild.
inventory for like every price range. And the bulk of buyers, I mean, at least that I see, are around that, 150 to 250, and there's a lot less than 2 weeks in
Yep.
that price range. So
yeah. Cool. Well, let's talk about how strong offers are coming in and list to sold ratios and how strong offers are.
Yeah, so just last year in 2019, the list to sold price, we were getting 99, the market overall was getting 99.23% of the list price. And this year, we're getting over our ask price, right? What do you guys think is happening there where we're getting more than we're asking?
I again think it has to do with inventory being so low, and you got all the multiple offers going in, and people are offering above.
it's just supply and demand.
Inventory, supply and demand, and the interest rates. I do have buyers that are like, look, my interest rate is 2.8% right now. We need to find a house.
Now.
Right now. And so they're just willing to overpay because that interest rate is so good that it's going to save them. So what if they overpay by, $2,000 or something like that? That interest rate's going to save them a lot of money in the long run.
And they're not going to have a house if they don't.
Right. Somebody else is going to do it.
Are you guys finding, how much are you thinking right now you guys are offering over? Is everybody offering over?
Over
Well,
list price, yes, but overpaying for a list?
Yeah, not overpay.
No, that's what I mean, like over list
Right.
price.
Yeah, over list price, yeah, very, very, very typically. Yeah,
Are you competing with other buyers on
Correct.
the same property?
correct.
Most of
yeah.
the time.
In a
Most
of the
non-multiple offer
time.
situation, which means that the seller might already be high or not as aggressive as they should be, that's when you're not going to see multiple offers where there is sometimes room. But that's rare. Most sellers are listing really where they should be.
So would you say at $300,000 or under and you write an offer, what's the average amount of offers that you are competing against? Does everything have multiple offers or just a few?
most of the
Most, I'd
time,
say 2 to
yeah.
6 offers.
I feel like every listing I've had over the past month, 2 months, has been multiple offers every single time. And sometimes it goes a week or 2 weeks, but then all of a sudden that rolls around and they're ready to, offers come in, but it's not just one, it's 2 or 3. It's crazy.
I had 14 offers on that $150,000 property that I had because there's like absolutely nothing for sale in that price range. So
14 competing
14
offers.
offers.
So what are you doing to make sure your buyer doesn't overpay, but they get their offer accepted?
Well, you just got to run comparables and see what's sold recently to make sure that they're within the range. But if you're seeing multiple offers on a listing, the chances are that the market's telling you that it's listed correctly. And so, but we run comparables to make sure.
So let me ask you this. What are you guys doing on closing costs? That used to be such a normal thing. Are you seeing where sellers are not paying closing costs? Or are they willing to pay as long as the net's okay?
I think and it depends on, again, price range.
Sometimes a seller will worry about the appraisal coming in at value. And so, if you are trying to finance in your closing costs, the seller does take that into consideration. So sometimes there's sellers that don't want to take it if you're financing in closing costs because it could result in them netting less. But some buyers, they have to have closing costs, included. And then there's other buyers that say, hey, look, if it doesn't appraise at that value, we will come up with a difference. And that has been one thing a buyer is able to do, is just state right in the contract that if it doesn't appraise at value, we'll cover the difference so you don't have to pay our closing costs.
Yeah, bingo. It's about cleanliness of the contract.
Totally. Cleaning it up so it looks appealing to the seller. You got to make it clean or you won't get your offer accepted.
What are the other things that make it clean? If someone's listening to this and saying, hey, if I can only offer 100%, because we're worried about price, what else are you guys seeing on offers that make it a clean offer? What else is in there?
Not adding inclusions like that aren't already listed on the MLS. Like, hey, we want your carpet, or we want it cleaned, or we want it, you to do this to the yard or upgrade anything on the house. And low inspection days is important too, because they don't want to pull their property off market for too long when they have that many offers. So that's important too.
Contingent offers on a home that's got to sell are tough right now. I mean, if you have a home to sell and you're competing on 4 offers, likely 3 out of the 4 don't have a home to sell. And if you have a home to sell, you almost just got to get it sold and at least have it under contract at the bare minimum.
Listed live though, it makes the biggest difference. You just got to take a leap of faith and get listed live so that we can get you under contract. If they see that you're listed live and trying to go under sale, it makes the world of difference.
But if you're trying to get a home and your property's not listed at all and you're saying, well, I'll put it on the market if you accept my offer, not going to happen.
I don't even, that's happened pretty recently, where it's just, I got to go list my home first. Yeah, right. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah.
We just don't have the time, right?
Yeah, you got to get it live.
Especially in certain price points. And so if you want to get in specifics for properties and price points, then we can break that down for certain clients in those price points, because it does fluctuate a little bit. If you're over 500,000, it's a little bit of different story than the 175 to 250 right now. But there are strategies and ways that you can do it. Have you guys seen a larger fallout from pending to canceled contracts? Because that's a piece of the market right now that there's a big percentage is actually the fallout from pending and not getting to closing is on the increase. Are you feeling that?
Surprisingly, no. I thought with COVID we were going to have more issues, but I have not had really any deals.
The market in general is seeing that. I think it's because sometimes the buyers will rush too quick just to tie it up, and then buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I think it's just all about that conversation going into it and not putting the pressure or having the buyer get that buyer remorse. Because if they rush into that deal because there's 5 other offers and they want to get it and it's their dream house and they thought they were going to get it for $289,000. Now all of a sudden we're paying $305,000 for it. And that's like way beyond their budget they thought they wanted to be at. Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you're getting a phone call at 8:30 at night saying, hey, Joe, I've been thinking about it and I don't know if we can afford that house. And so things like that, I can see things like that happening. And I've had that conversation with buyers and had to walk them through that.
And you kind of try to meet with them beforehand and kind of lay out the whole game plan of how the whole
exactly
process
what their
works.
mortgage is going to be. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be multiple offers. We don't go any higher than you're comfortable with. If this is your max, 300, I just need to know that. That way I won't allow you to go above that. If you say, Joe, just 300, that's where we need to be, then that's where we're going to be. And we'll just submit that offer at that point. And hopefully all the other factors, our closing date, our lender we're using, our time frame, and our inclusions, all those things also help us to get that offer accepted, even though it might not be the highest. I just got an offer accepted on Monday, and the others had higher net than ours. There were 4 other offers, all had higher net for the list for the seller. But they accepted ours because ours wasn't contingent on anything. We were doing a conventional loan. We had a down payment. And so those things made it a little cleaner, but we didn't have to go all the way up to try and compete with those other offers.
I just like to say that's why consults are so important. And that's why we really heavily advise doing a consult with your agent up front before you get out and looking, because that is the key to making sure that we understand you and your motivation very, very well, so that when it comes to that, we can tell if we feel like you'd be pushing your budget or pushing past where you want to go. So consults are super important, and that's why we do them, so we don't get into buyer's remorse.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Can I mention something else on price? So one thing that I think is important that I don't think a lot of people understand is when a home is listed, or even when you have an appraisal, real estate is a market-driven industry. And so it's driven by buyers and by sellers. It doesn't matter what an agent thinks a home is worth, what a buyer thinks a home is worth, what a seller thinks a home is worth. the market ultimately determines what the price is. And so as an agent, the best we can do is give an educated forecast of how we feel the market will respond at a certain price and list it at that price. And then we determine if we're right or if we're wrong on our forecast. If we get multiple offers, we're right. And if it's driven up, then we might have not forecasted that as high and it goes up higher. If we don't get any showings and we don't get much activity, then we are on the high side and we have to adjust. All it is we put it on the market for the market. And that's why we see things go over. I mean, it's a good reflection of our market that most things are at 100% because agents are listing the property correctly is what that says. But if it starts going up to 115%, 110%, that means they're being priced too low because buyers are willing to pay more than what we're seeing based on comparables. And it's just an interesting thing. I don't think many people understand, how pricing works in real estate. It's totally just market driven. I mean, the market doesn't care what we think, what anybody else thinks, but we throw it out there and we're going to find out because it's market driven. So
Good. So that was the year over year just for the month of May from 2019 to 2020. So year to date, list to sold is actually flat. So if we look at just 1 month, we feel that pressure and we have felt it for the last 30 to 45 days. But year over time, it's just telling us that things are just stable in that range. Average days on the market in the month of May, this month we can see as inventory decreases, things are selling quicker, right? Last year we were 32 days, this year we're at 24, a 25% decrease. That is quick to sell homes. And then the year to date, January to May, we're pretty much flat, 41 to 40 days. So, Joe keeps talking about the COVID effect on the market right now. Maybe over time, we may not see a huge dump in the market or a huge decrease or a huge problem in Southeast Idaho because we have stayed pretty steady on most of the statistics there. Absorption rate. So current homes on the market, 298 or a decrease of 12%. That means
this was month over month. This was
year over year, right?
not year over year. Just like last month, what our slide was from our team meeting last month.
Okay.
This is the current homes on the market this month.
So go ahead and talk about that, Jess.
Yeah, so we just basically, last month when we met and we talked about stats, there was 337 active houses on the market that day. As of today, it's 298. So we're 12% down on just inventory from last month, which normally we're seeing this tick up.
Yeah.
And 12% down from last month. Normally this is the rev up and we should be starting to see. So the buyers, I think it's not an issue of, and this is of course one snapshot on the day. I think we're seeing as many because we're seeing those solds, but we see a little decrease in sold. So we should see an increase in inventory. But we have a decrease in inventory and a decrease in closings.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, hence, I think maybe that plays into, since we have a 12% decrease in inventory over last month, then that might be why May prices are, the list to sell price is over 100% just for that month, where over the year it's flat, but that month it's up because inventory is down.
Exactly. And that's why we want to look at this month over month, but year over year as well to see if we're in an anomaly or is it happening over time and are we going to be seeing this as time goes by. But
to dissect that a little more, so I looked this morning in Bonneville County, 212 of those are Bonneville County.
Wow.
And so the other remaining, I won't do math.
76.
76. The other remaining 76 are 86 are Bingham County and Jefferson County. So between those two counties, it's how many? 86?
76.
76? I don't know, somewhere around there.
I just made
But
that number
212 is Bonneville County.
Not
I didn't even try it.
Not enough. Yeah, so there's
things
not a
are
lot.
going, inventory, available properties are going down.
Yeah.
And while the rates are low, there's a pressure to buy whatever's available, right? So it's pushing prices up.
So
let's
Jeremy, I
talk
might
about
mention
that
that idea is
affordability.
when normally if we see inventory, we're talking about that. We should see if we've got sellers out there that are thinking, oh my word, look at the inventory low. But at the same time, if you're going to move up in price with the rates that we're about to talk about are so low, this is the time to move up because you're going to sell your house for more money than you've ever gotten it. And you're going to move up at a low interest rate. You're probably saving more money than by going up than paying for a higher price home.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about that, Jess.
Yeah. So you guys, here on this current market, here's what Landon Kessler over at Idaho First Mortgage sent us over the rates. You guys, conventional is below 3% right now. And at 15 years, 2.5. FHA, he hit at 2.5, RD's at 2.5, VA's at 2.5% today. And Idaho housing is at 3.25. I mean, that right there, he said we're over a point below last year.
Wow.
50-year low, right?
The what?
50-year low.
50-year low. Oh, yeah.
50-year
50-year low.
low.
I don't even know. I can't remember.
Low.
It's low. I don't know
low.
that it's ever been. And they don't see it going up until after the election. But then once the election happens.
And what is the percentage of buying power on the percentage of home you can buy per 1%?
Roughly 10 to
11%.
11%.
Yeah.
11%. So like Chad's saying, everything is on sale from last year, 11%. And so the appreciation that happened with the buying power of lower rates basically washes itself out.
Yeah, people say prices are so high. Well, if you're getting a loan, they're actually quite low because it washes out.
Which again puts more buyers, the pressure to buy now, which drives the pressure to make an offer, which drives the pressure to make a good offer, which drives the prices up.
And so our buyers and sellers need to be educated, right? Before they put a home on the market or before we get out and look at properties, what are we up against? What are the stats saying? And that's why we love to cover these things. Because is someone going to walk into the market today and get a smoking deal for pennies on the dollar? Probably not, right? You gotta know that whatever offer you're putting out there, that list to sell price has got to be in the 99 to 101% range, or else you won't compete. So
I may mention this also, Jeremy. If we don't have a stat or a slide on this, the rental market is skyrocketed because there's not very many investors purchasing new rental properties because it's not a good deal. They have to get a rate of return. So so rent is skyrocketing at the same time. And so when they go to compare what they can buy at this interest rate versus what they can rent, buying is a way better deal than it is renting right now in the area. And Landon also mentioned what is interesting is we need to start preparing our buyers and our sellers for longer close times. Because with these rates, refinances are going to come back into play. And that slows down all of your lenders because now they're flooded with refinances as well as purchases. So we've got to start preparing. The 2-week close is probably never going to happen. 30 days, but we might see those start to inch up as the rates go like this. So buyers need to know that as well.
And your rate is not locked in until you have a signed contract. And that's one thing that buyers need to understand too.
that's a good point.
Yeah, general expectation I'm just setting with my sellers is they say 30 days. Expect 35. It can happen. It might just be pushed back.
I feel like closings have definitely already extended past the 30 days. So
Yeah, I bet you a lot of people are at 45.
Yeah.
So definitely know what lender you're working with.
Yeah, so just make sure we're setting good expectations on that things are going to be taking a little longer and appraisals should be taking a little longer. It's just going to happen.
Awesome. Well, I think that covers most of the market and interest rates, buying power, what we need to keep our people aware of. Anybody have anything else to add that we didn't cover that you think would be important at this segment? Let's move on.
Fantastic. So you guys, I just want to mention, we are super excited that we have visited quite a few nodes. If everyone's got their cup out, we visited the Queen Bean came today. But just want to talk about Nosy Neighbors, just a quick plug. This is who we visited this past month, and there's been some really cool businesses. If you haven't had a chance to catch up with what's going on out there, it is really neat. If you haven't been to the Snake River Ferry, we have our own ferry now on the river, and that was super cool. And the Nosy Neighbors got to take their first ride. The West Bank is opening, and Diablo's Kitchen has moved from downtown to service the West Bank Convention Center, and it is so cool. So cool. Anyway, there's just a lot of really great things that we've seen in the past month at Nosy Neighbors. And we've got some stuff coming up. We visited the Queen Bean, which will come out tomorrow. And she has a really neat story. Flip and Twist. How many of you guys know what Flip and Twist is?
Never heard of it.
A kid's place. Interesting. Elise, what's Flip and Twist?
Well, they offer all sorts of different opportunities for kids, but like parkour. They've got a parkour course right there
family
in their
parkour.
location.
I'm big into parkour.
Yeah.
Chad's a big parkour. I don't know what that is. Yeah, but a lot of people don't realize there's a family parkour place.
And they're right off of Hit Road at the corner of Hit and Sunnyside. So we're excited to go over there and talk to them and give you guys a little preview of what you could find out.
In fact, we should do an office parkour party one morning.
That does not sound fun.
Just everybody follow me.
So
I'll just
good.
fly
Chad.
over.
I'm in.
I sign up for a lot of stuff.
I'm in if I can follow Chad. Cause,
It makes me think of The Office.
do that.
The parkour video of The Office.
Parkour. Well, that's what I was thinking. We could do that. That could be us.
We'll set our own
Really
course
parkour
up
office.
at the office.
So I also want to mention we are going to be visiting the shadow domain, which somebody suggested to us, and which is going to be really neat. Oddities and curiosities and gifts. So that's going to be super fun. So we got some really fun stuff coming up in Nosy
I
Neighbors.
guess we'll have to wait for the video to find out
Have
what
to
that
wait for the
means.
video.
Oddities.
Oddities and curiosities and gifts.
I'm picturing heads in jars and stuff.
Not hits and jars, but some really cool things. So anyway, but we want to make sure everyone knows that we are super passionate about supporting our local businesses, and we want suggestions from you. If you find a local business that needs us to visit, we are scheduling those out. Super fun. And that's the stats, Jack.
that is it.
What? And we're
Perfect
done.
timing.
Whoa, that. Call us today and see what we can do to sell your home.
If you want to know what your home is worth in today's market, give us a call.
If you're thinking about selling your home and you're thinking about doing for sale by owner, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about how we can net you more money, even with paying a commission.
I couldn't stop.